The fourth Republican presidential debate is tonight, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. for the main contenders in Milwaukee. Here with an advance and some analysis, our man in Washington, Chris Casteel. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dave. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us via Skype this afternoon. I guess I could have let off this video with the big matchup involving some Washington types is actually KD versus the Wizards.
It absolutely is. The Thunder is in town.
Thunder's
Luckily, I will be able to watch most of it before the debate starts. I think the game starts 7:05 Eastern, and I'm looking forward to. Those are always good games. Well, most of the time they're good games. Last year was good. 2 years ago, I think the Wizards blew the Thunder off the floor, and I believe the first time I saw the Thunder here as the Thunder, which probably would have been, 2009 season, they blew the Wizards off the floor. But there have been some last year was a really good game. And Bradley Beal's rookie year would have been 4 seasons ago, I guess. He beat the Thunder with a buzzer beater 3. And anyway, that was, I think, still the James Harden Thunder, and that was a great game. So I'm thinking it'll be good tonight. I mean, both teams are. Neither team is playing real consistently right now.
Oh, it's early in the season. We're just a couple weeks into the season.
Absolutely.
I remember last presidential debate, the third one, there was lots of remote control action on the TV. You had the debate, you had the baseball, you had some basketball, and tonight is basketball.
Well, that's right, it's a Thunder home opener, right?
That's right. Well, tonight will be a good matchup, the Wizards and the Thunder, but the 8 leading Republican candidates will tip off, if you will, at 8 p.m. And this time it's on Fox Business News. And I guess we could start with the media angle here. CNBC hosted it last time, and the moderators caught some fire as they and the candidates went toe-to-toe. There's been some revisions. Some candidates went to the networks, and tonight is Fox Business News. What do you think we might see tonight?
Well, I think because of what happened last time, most of which was overblown and a lot of which, I'm biased, seemed to me like candidate whining. I think because of that, it will be a little bit more controlled in that sense. I mean, I think the moderators will try to take control of it, and maybe try to avoid the kind of gotcha questions that the CNBC people were accused of. I mean, I've been talking to politicians for over a good 30 years, I should say. I started covering the state legislature in 1985. And it is very tough to ask a question of some of them that will get you a straight answer, or an answer that is responsive, is what I should say, that will get you a response to your question. So what I think we'll see tonight maybe is more, and I think the candidates will be given more time. And I think the questions will be good tonight. I think they'll ask good questions, but again, we'll see how responsive these Republican candidates are.
Seems like the catchphrase these years is, I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to get to that question. That's a good question. Let me answer that question. It's like they tap dance immediately. Tonight's moderators, by the way, are Neil Cavuto and Maria Bartiromo, along with
I like them.
Along with Wall Street Journal's editor-in-chief, Gerard Baker. So those three, they say that they want to stay out of the limelight this time and not become the focus of the debate. We will see.
Yeah, they're celebrities in their own right, so we'll see.
It's true. And speaking of celebrities, Donald Trump still leads the polls, and he had quite the speech last night, didn't he?
I'm not frequently amused by Donald Trump, but I really was kind of breaking up last night about his take on the whole kind of Ben Carson backstory thing, where Donald Trump was, to sum it up, he said basically, this is the first presidential election in history where you're better off if you did stab somebody. Because that's basically been, Dr. Carson's contention over the last few days in this back and forth with the media. No, I really did try to stab somebody, and I really did go at them.
No, I really did. Trust me. We were looking at some footage there. I don't know if we've seen a spike in numbers of red trucker hats across the country, but Donald Trump continues to rock that look. Ben Carson, his campaign took a weird turn last week. We were talking about CNBC and the media versus the candidates, but Ben Carson kind of went on the offense against some of the media as well.
And I actually think, again, that really what he said about him being singled out and he's never seen any kind of treatment like this, what that means is that he has not been paying attention.
No
You
kidding.
know, for him to think that this is, particularly malicious and brutal um, by the media to me, I think it's just ludicrous, really. But it is, the thing about Carson too is that he has no record in the public sector. He has no record in the public sphere. So they pretty much, the only thing that you have to focus on is what he sort of built his life story on, which is, some of these anecdotes that are meant to illustrate, why I became a physician. Well, I could have gone into the military. I could have gotten a scholarship to West Point. And I think that all of that is just maybe poorly, some of that's just poorly stated. Only he knows, and I should say that only he and probably a few other people know exactly how some of these things went down. But I mean, it's not, to me, been unfair for the media to ask to just go back and look at some of the anecdotes he's told again about this life story that is, the source of his appeal to so many people. It's not unfair to do that. He wants to be president of the United States. He wants to have the power to send American troops into battle. He wants to have the power to get the daily national security briefing every day. He wants to have the powers of the most powerful, as a leader of the most powerful country in the world. And we're not supposed to ask questions about these things that he said about himself, or these things that he says about the pyramids, or anything that he says. I mean, really,
It comes with the territory, and frankly, this is the vetting period. At the end of this year and leading into next year's elections. Carson has been surging in the polls, so has Marco Rubio. In fact, this morning, Rubio released a commercial, if you will, going after Jeb Bush. I think it'll be interesting to see how Rubio and Bush go toe-to-toe maybe tonight.
Yeah, well, Rubio definitely won it last time. So that's, to me, that is not ever going to be Jeb Bush's strength, is to get into some kind of, exchange like that with any of them, really. Right? Maybe his strength would be to avoid them and to show he can rise above it, and maybe to show his maturity.
How important is tonight for Jeb Bush? Is he still in this for the long haul because he does have the war chest, or does he really need to make a strong showing tonight?
Well, I mean, I guess I probably talked about this the last time, and we may be talking about the next time. At some point, he's got to be more than he's got to show more than he has so far. That's for sure.
Well, one last question for you, Chris, kind of tongue-in-cheek. Would you ever want to be a moderator of a presidential debate for the Republicans or the Democrats?
It is not an ambition of mine. I think I could die just as peacefully without having done that. I don't envy them, Dave. I mean,
No.
and some obviously do a better job than others, but it's really tough because some of the things that you and I talked about. I don't care if you're the moderator of a presidential debate or if you're me talking to one of the members of our delegation. You work hard sometimes to phrase a question in such a way as to get the answer you're looking for. Now, they have every reason, I guess, sometimes to not even like your question, not even like your story. Hey, he's working on this story. I'm not going to help him with it. But that doesn't help them ultimately either. You don't win by getting into fights with the media. People try, but it's not. The last one who did it, who kind of got his name for was Gingrich, I think, in 2012, and he was out fairly early.
One last note on Trump. He, of course, appeared on Saturday Night Live Saturday night, and some of the Saturday Night Live guys were on NPR today, and they said, well, he had less security than Hillary, or he had more security than Hillary, but less than Prince. So there you go. He brings his entourage.
That's good.
All right, the Republican presidential debate can be seen tonight on Fox Business News at 8 o'clock. The undercard, by the way, which is at 6 o'clock. More analysis from the Oklahoman's Chris Casteel can be found on newsok.com and in the Oklahoman. Chris, thanks for your time today.
Glad to do it, Dave. Take care.
All right, that'll do it for this update. Again, more coverage tonight on newsok.com.